New vlog, third one I've done this month, fourth one overall for the channel. I've been wanting to talk about this one, and yeah, the water's too hot. I've been wanting to talk about why I don't play video games as much as I used to. Now, many of you are probably wondering when I said something about back in my such and such video. Yeah, I know, it's been quite a little while because I haven't posted barely anything in a few days, but I usually said I was going to do less and less of everything this year, but I've been pushing and pushing more and more, like everything's like in a panicky rut. Okay, so, you know, video games was such a hobby for me. Seems like, I mean, you know, knowing every day I would always play video games. I would play PlayStation, even some games I would play on Facebook. When I had the Wii, until I sold it to my local GameStop for $40 in cash, and then Xbox here and there. You know, times for me nowadays are different from when it was when I was a teenager. And first a kid and a teenager. It's not like I had to skip the whole video games thing from my childhood experience of playing video games. But teenager, you know, see, when I was a teenager, I was very enthusiastic with video games. This was back when we still had the PlayStation 2 era of games games like Shadow of Rome, Shadow of the Colossus, whatever Ratchet and Clank games that came out at the time, Jak and Daxter. The Jak and Daxter trilogy, Sly Cooper, the first three ones before Thieves in Time for PS3, and then games like Burnout Revenge, and whatever Need for Speed titles like Most Wanted and Carbon, and several other titles and such, and even the Call of Duty games before the Modern Warfare, the Black Ops and the Ghosts and such stuff, Advanced Warfare. Era of Call of Duty, and then Medal of Honor back before the franchise even got roadkilled because of Warfighter in the current PS3, PS4 generation. You know, I was always playing games nonstop. I was always playing games where it can occupy my mind for a few hours, but when I'm bored with it, I decided to change my tune to do something else worth rather. And it's something that it's something that I was so passionate about. But here's the thing: the main topic why I don't play games like I used to anymore is because I just realized video games nowadays have changed, and a lot of video games now, based on how I see them, they seem to be more like movies than actually playing the game, going through the gameplay experience and everything. Everything feels so damn cinematic, and the characters feel real than, you know, cartoony and such like and everything. And I don't see how in the world have video games been like this. And, you know, it feels like since I'm looking at myself and I'm like, wow, since I'm old, since I feel a little old, but I'm younger, I'm like in my 20s and stuff, but I don't feel as old, but I'm 20 something, and then I look back at the games I still have for my, you know, PlayStation 2 and such collection, and I'm like, after I retired from those games, because I finished them multiple damn times, played them a bunch of times, I figured, well, with the new games we have for these newer consoles, high definition consoles, it's like things have to evolve, and, you know, I can't keep lingering in the past or nostalgia when it comes to, when video games are more simpler to play. But it seems like, I think it's probably my mindset is saying video games are harder to play nowadays because they don't seem to be anything like how it was when I was playing games that were on the original PlayStation or the PlayStation 2 or the original Xbox. Everything is like more sophisticated, more in-depth, and more complicated, more complex, and more realistic than what the games we used to have back when. And when I think about it, it's like, what has happened? What has happened all these years? But I lost interest in video games. Not so while ago. Or 2 years ago, I started to lose interest in video games. Last time I played any further, lots of games, was in 2013. When I bought some games for my PS3 because I just got my PS3 3.5 years ago for Christmas in 2012, and I didn't start slowly getting whatever games I want to play on my PS3 rather than just sticking to 1 or 2 or 3 games, because knowing video games now, when you look at the prices for games for PlayStation now, mostly PS3, PS4, PlayStation Vita, most of the games are so expensive compared to when you remember back when we used to have PlayStation 2 and possibly the original, and definitely with the original. Remember when video games for PlayStation didn't cost as much? Now all of a sudden, ever since with the high tech hardware, the more innovative hardware that we have now for PlayStation and Xbox, the games are more expensive. Even the consoles are very expensive. That's why I kind of gave up on why video games is not barely anything like my thing anymore. And I think this is one of the few things I decided to skip on because, unlike most guys who like to play video games and ditch going on dates with girls, it's because, I had to give up on playing video games because, like I said, seeing my future self like 10 to 12 years from now, when I do get a girlfriend, if I do, if she finds out that I was playing video games rather than going out dates with her and all that stuff, then the date is over and I have to like give up on the gaming because I've seen some videos and read some blogs and articles and such like that where you got guys complaining why do guys play video games rather than going on dates, or even seeing YouTube videos where you have a girlfriend along and when she gets frustrated while you're playing video games and seeing her and such so much, she would come to your house, or when she is in your house she would go ahead and destroy your Xbox or destroy your PlayStation or destroy your handheld like a 3DS or something. Well, actually, when it's the consoles, that's exactly, egregious. But when you have a handheld, it's okay, or somewhat. Or if you do play with the handheld too much when she's talking to you and stuff, she'll probably get all frustrated and irritated and just snatch your handheld system like a PlayStation Vita again or a Nintendo 3DS and slam it to the ground and step on it. But of course I've seen a few videos on YouTube where you've had girls go to a guy's house when they're on a date or so, and she would get frustrated and destroy your Xbox. And even her freakouts can be disturbing to watch, and yeah, they can be very disturbing to watch. Or you can just YouTube search "girl destroys such game console, PlayStation, Xbox," whatever in the search section on YouTube. Another thing why I don't play video games as often anymore is because I'm most of the time always on YouTube. Also doing online surveys, because, like 8 hours a week, so I can get paid doing surveys, asking questions, via opinion, because I've been doing surveys, online paid surveys for 6 years, since 2010. And I've been so wrapped up and busy and, getting gift cards, PayPal credits. That's why, and several other things. I have been doing other tenures and chores and errands rather than playing video games every day. Well, every now and then I play some games, whether if I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5 or Destiny or, whatever game whatever games that are stacked up for my PS3 down on my shelf. But even though half of them I already finished and completed, and half of the games I used to have, I already sold those and traded those for new games at GameStop. So there's no point. I mostly been using my game console for watching and browsing TV shows and movies like on Crackle and Hulu, and I will soon get Netflix. and also listening to music, on my on flash drives like mine's on these MP3 files of music I downloaded, and even music that I created, and also watch personal videos that I made that I will soon post on YouTube or on Facebook. Let's see. Most of the time now, I don't really have the TV on or my PlayStation on during the daytime because I'm always busy doing what I have to do on the computer. So that's pretty one of the reasons why I don't play video games as much. Another thing is because I'm always outside walking around, taking a walk, getting some air, seeing what the heck is going on outside now and such, every now and then. Even going outside to walk just for exercise, or going outside just for the sake of walking, just walking and pacing around, going from place to place. Seeing some people, not as much. Then there's another thing, job searching. Of course, I'm still doing job searching despite my status of being unemployed. That's why I haven't been playing video games as much. I think I need to, take a break from playing video games. And actually, I had a long break from playing video games. As much as I've had on and off hiatuses from playing games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and stuff, and Call of Duty, that's why or Destiny, that's why I had to do all of this other stuff, keep my mind on one thing before I do anything else next. Another reason that was a little detracting compared to why video games nowadays are not what I think they are. You see, here's the thing with video games now. It's not like back when we had PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation Portable or the Nintendo DS or the original PlayStation or the Game Boy or the Sega Genesis or the Sega Saturn. Well, even though I never had the Saturn, but I did have the Genesis at one point in my life as a child. Or any of the variant Nintendo consoles like the N64. A lot of video games now rely on downloadable content or DLCs in a shortened acronym. DLCs. All it is just pointless add-ons to multiplayer maps, characters, bonus missions, stories, and stuff. That's just about it about DLCs. It's on remember back when we had games for PlayStation 2 like the first 3 Ratchet and Clank titles, or the Jack and Daxter Jack and Daxter trilogy, or Medal of Honor games like Medal of Honor Frontline, or Call of Duty Finest Hour, or Burnout Revenge, or games like that. Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Most of all of the content that the developers and such have already put in their games at the time of their releases has already been put in there. It's just the thing is with video games now, once you get the game, and then when you check on, like, if you have PlayStation Store, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Live, the Xbox Live Marketplace, and then when you see what kind of content does your game have that you can add on as well, I'm like, that's a waste of money. Knowing for people like me who's dirt poor, don't have the money or a credit or a prepaid card or a gift card to buy this, I'm like, please, you think you would expect me to spend all of my damn money on unnecessary add-ons to a video game? Seriously. Knowing that video games in the past have never did this. I don't know any video games from the past, back in the PS2 era again, that have ever had add-ons. None of them did. For some damn reason, it's like add-on here, add-on there, DLC here, DLC there. It's like, boy, it just ruins my experience of playing video games. That's probably the number one reason why I don't play video games anymore. Basically, I don't used to, because I figured this is why I spent so many years lingering in the past on some things from the past, and things have been changed. I think I've been living under a rock too long, watching the world change in so many ways, and even the wrong ways. And I have to, splash my face and, wake up and realize things are different from what it was back when you used to game all the damn time. But it seems like since I'm an adult now, I can't be playing video games hardly like I used to. I gotta work, and half of the time do some videos on YouTube and such like that, put them up there, and I think this is or maybe I need to take a break from using technology altogether, because that's what's making me overwhelmed. I mean, I'm already taking this certain break now, even at the time of this vlog's recording. So there you go. But anyway, what are your thoughts why I don't play video games like I used to anymore? What are your opinions? Any thoughts or anything? But let me know in the comments of this vlog, and tell me how you feel about how this would impact you, and even what do you feel about, and even a bonus question, what do you feel about DLCs in video games now? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.